Good morning, student. Tell your friends to join session soon. We will wait for 2 to 3 minutes, then after we will start. So tell your friends to join session soon. Hello, Priyan. Are you there? Okay, tell your friends to join session soon. We will wait for 2 to 3 minutes, then after we will start. So call your friend. Okay. Good morning, Madhav. Are you there?
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, we start our session with you. Okay, so in the previous lab session, we already covered the class as well as the access specifier. So have you
હું
present
નતો
the?
લાસ્ટ સેક્શનમાં.
Okay, okay, fine. So I
આ
will just give.
પ્લેસમેન્ટમાં હતો ને હું પ્લેસમેન્ટમાં બેઠો હતો ને મેમ એટલે નથી ખબર મને શું કરે એવું લાસ્ટ લેબમાં.
Okay, fine. So in today's lab session, we go for the constructor, but before that, I will give you the idea regarding class, how to create a class in PHP, and what we do in the previous lab session. Just quick revision regarding that. Okay, so that you have an idea, and then we quickly move towards the constructor program, like how constructor working, destructor, and all the other OOP concept. So I will code it from my side also. So have you log in through your laptop or not, Madhav?
હાલો.
You log in through your laptop?
નહીં મેમ મોબાઈલથી થયો છું પણ લેપટોપ સાઈડમાં ચાલુ જ છે.
Okay, fine. So make sure your XAMPP is on working or not.
યસ
All
યસ
the
મેમ.
okay,
પર ગઈ.
fine. So first I will explain the everything. Then after you go for the coding and output. And if you have any get any error, you can present your screen. Okay.
ઓકે મેમ ઓકે.
Okay, fine. I'm presenting my screen. Just a second. Okay, so first, how to create a class. Generally, why we are creating the class in the object-oriented programming. So my screen is visible to you, Madhav. Can you acknowledge me?
યસ યસ મેમ.
Okay, fine. So class is always used for wrapping the data, like there are different variables are there are different methods are there, right? So whenever you have to wrap the data into single unit, then after we are creating a class. So it provides some kind of data security, like in procedure oriented programming we don't have that much security. So what we do in the object oriented programming, we create a class. Okay, so somewhat kind of security we can provide using the class. So how to create a class? So you have to create a PHP file first, then after store it at the htdocs folder of your XAMPP folder. Inside that, in the C drive, you have to use the class keyword whenever you have to create a class, and then after class name. So if I'm saying that this is the TC2 class, so it is called the class creation, where you have to use the class as well as the class name. Now make sure what happened, like in Java and other programming language, there is a one main method is there. Okay, so we are creating either another class here, and in that class object creation is there, or we can say if we are going for another language, so there is a void main method is there, right? So in that method we are going for creation of class, but here there is no such method is present. So what we can do, directly we can call outside of the class, and outside of the class we directly go for the object creation. Okay, so now this inside the class there are two things are there. One is a properties and another is a methods. Okay, so as you already learn in the in your language, do you have any idea regarding properties? What do you mean by properties, Madhav? You have any idea? Hello, Madhav. Okay, just a second. Hello, now my voice is coming. Can you acknowledge me? My voice is coming now. Hello.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, Madhav. Am I audible now? Okay, now my voice is clear to you. Can you acknowledge me? Okay, just a second. I'm just again rejoining it. So stay here. Okay. Inside the class, there are different properties are there like public. Then after we are giving some kind of CSS formatting. That's why we are creating the different property like text size. Then after public, color, and the text value. So that is all about the creation of property. Now in this program, we are going for creating the constructor. So how we can create a constructor? So there are two ways. Like either you can use underscore underscore, that is the double underscore, then after construct keyword and parenthesis. So that is the one approach to create a constructor. Another approach is function using your class name. So here your class name is TC2. Okay, so using TC2, then after parenthesis and curly bracket. So these way you can create a constructor. This is the first way and this is the second way. So I am using the first way. In other program we are also using the second way. Okay, so why we are creating the constructor? So constructor is always used to initialize the value. Whenever you create any object outside of your class in PHP, at that time you are passing some of the parameter. So that parameter is passed here, like in the parenthesis of constructor, and we assign values to that into the class property. So for initialization purpose, we are creating the constructor. So here I am passing the three different parameter. One is size. So here I am using the S for size, C for color, and V for value. Now I am assigning this local variable because whatever you are passing in this, that is called the local variable. So now I assign this local variable's value into my class property. So using this keyword, if you are using same name here and here, then you can go for this keyword. Otherwise, it is not necessary to go for it. So these, then after arrow, and then after text size is equals to dollar $s. These, then text color is equals to dollar $C. These text value. For value, it is called a small v. Okay. So these way we are creating the constructor and assigning the value. Now outside of the class, we are going for the object creation. So how we can go for it? So using obj key object name is equals to new keyword and then after your class name. So here your class name is TC2. After that, I'm providing parameters. So here in constructor, I'm passing three parameters. So I have to provide three parameter here. One is the size. So size means either we are giving for 24 px. Then after color. So color is red. And then after my actual text. So I'm giving advanced web technology. Okay, so these value are passed here in constructor parameter and then after it is assigned to the class property. Now I'm creating the method. In that method, I don't want to only go for the echo and display part where I am applying some kind of CSS also to my text. So I'm creating the function. How you can create a function? So first is a public or private or protected access specifier. Then after function keyword. Then after your name of your function. So here I'm providing p message. So echo. Here I'm creating the p tag and in that p tag I am giving my text. Okay, this is the approach whenever you are writing the CSS in your PHP file using double inverted comma. Now I want to apply a style to this text. So what I can do, font size, I'm saying that like it is 20 px. Color, blue. And then after the text. But now what happened? These 20 px, this blue color, that is a static value, right? So I don't want that static value. I just want those value from the user. Like here, whenever they are creating the object, at that time they will pass the values. And according to that value here, the values are changed, right? So what can I do? For 20 px, I store the size into this variable, like this property, text underscore size. For blue, I am storing the color value into the text underscore color. And my original text is stored into the text underscore value property. Now here, so instead of 20 px, I am writing these and text underscore size. So that is my variable. But whenever you are writing the variable or properties inside the double quote, it will not interpret its value. So what you have to do, you have to write it down outside of the double inverted comma. So this is only the string, like p style equals to font size and colon, that is your string, because you whatever css property and html tag are there, that you have to write it down in the double inverted comma. So I just close the double inverted comma here. So now it will interpret perfectly regarding the text size. But what happened? This is one string and underscore like text underscore size is another string. So both the string is there. How I can concatenate? So using dot operator. So I am putting here dot. Okay. Then after again here semicolon, and then after color colon, that is again my string. So I also have to put dot because this is one string, color is another string. So using concatenation, I am providing the dot operator there. Again blue, instead of blue I can write it down like the property name, that is the text color. So these, then after text underscore color. Okay, so that is all about concatenation. Shivam Giri, are you there? Okay, is not there. So all the students refer this video regarding the constructor, destructor, inheritance and interface, because no students are present. That's why I'm recording everything for your reference. Okay, so for concatenation purpose, like this is one string, this is another string. So here I'm putting the dot operator. Again this semicolon and right angular bracket, that is again another string. So I, for the concatenation, I have to put dot, again here dot. Instead of text, what I have to write, that is the store, that value store into the text underscore value. Okay, so again this text underscore value. Okay, again concatenation and slash p is your html tag, so that's why we have to write it down into the double inverted comma. So these way your entire program will work, and we also provide the CSS properties to this also. Like first you are giving the font size, then after color, and at last the text value. But make sure whenever you are writing down everything, you put it the dot at proper place. Otherwise you will not get the output. Okay. So we created a function. Whenever the css style is there, make sure you use the double inverted comma. Whenever the property variables are there, make sure you don't put it into double inverted comma, otherwise it will not interpret its value. So that is the thing you have to remember. Now I already create an object. Now I have to go for the function calling. So how I can go for it? So like object name obj, then arrow and function name, so p underscore message. Okay, so these way you can call your function, and this is all about your constructor. So I'm just going to show you the output. Okay, this is my file. Okay, so it's working, right? I provide here a red color, then after the text, advanced web technology and 24 px, that is the font size. So if I'm creating or changing here a blue color, and then again I run the program, it will change its color from red to blue. So this way your entire constructor program will work. Remember the syntax, like double underscore construct keyword is used to creating the constructor. As well as another approach is you can use the class name also. So this is all about the constructor. Now one thing that I want to tell you that what happened, I initialize everything here, then I just go want to go for every time calling this function. So what I can do every time, instead of every time calling this function, what I can do here, I can write it down those things like calling on function inside the constructor like this way. Okay. So whenever the value is initialized, directly it will call this function and output will be displayed here. So there is no need for calling the function outside of the class because we already call it inside the constructor. But when you can do this thing, whenever there is a necessity of calling the function every time after the initialization of variable. So in that scenario, you can use these things. Otherwise, you have to call it outside of your class. So this is your approach of constructor. As you can see the output is same. Okay, there is no change in your output. So both the things are same, but depending on the scenario, it will change. Okay. One thing that I want to tell you that is PHP always call only one constructor. If you are providing more than one constructor and all the signatures and parameters are the same, then it will call the constructor only one time and according to your object creation. If you are passing three parameter, so according to that constructor will call. Okay, so make sure PHP ever call only one constructor. So this is all about the constructor. Now we are going for the destructor. So destructor means whenever you have to destroy your object, at that time you are going for destructor, and it is also automatically called. Like constructor is called whenever the object is initialized. Same way, destructor is also automatically called, but whenever you want to destroy or whenever all the things regarding your program is done and your script is ended, at last destructor will call automatically. So in destructor, what kind of code you can write it down? If you are creating the database, so database connection, you open it, right? Then after, if you are going for the file operation, so file opening is also there. So whatever the connections and whatever the variables you are opening, you have to close it at the end of your program. So those kind of code you can write it down in your constructor, like closing of your database connection, closing of your file operation. Okay, so those kind of operation you can write it down in the destructor. Okay, and generally destructor is always used for the cleanup process, like cleaning your memory. That is the main goal for destructor. And whenever your script is end, at that time it will automatically call. Now, how you can create a destructor? So for that, use public if you want to use it. Otherwise, you can omit it also. Then after function, double underscore and destruct. So make sure you remember these things also. Like in constructor, we are using construct. In destructor, we are using destruct. Okay. Then after the parenthesis and in curly bracket, whatever the code we want to write it down for the destructor, that you can write here. So here we are not using this program related to the database and another file operation. So what we can do, we just only print out the data so that we have an idea like destructor is calling or not. So I'm giving the echo, then br, then after I'm printing one message that is destroying. Okay, and just give the name of my text, that is a this and text underscore value. So that is all about the destructor. As you can see the output. So first it will give you the output of your code, and at last your object destroy, or we can say that your destructor will call, and accordingly your object will destroy. So this is all about the destructor. Okay, so you have to remember the syntax of the constructor as well as the destructor. Now just save this file. We come back to this file again after some time, because first we go for the inheritance concept and then we again come back to use that concept also. So I'm saving that file. Okay, I'm creating another file. Okay, where I create the class, whatever the class I already created into the first file, that I will put it same as it is. Now, inheritance. So, inheritance is always used whenever you want to use the properties or methods or any other thing from other class. So this inheritance is always used for the code reusability. Whenever you want to go for the code reusability, at that time you can use this concept. So in inheritance, keep in mind this thing. If we take the real time example, so as a child, you have always access to all the property of your father. Even you also own some of your own property, right? So you can have access of your father as well as your own class also. But if we are thinking about your parent, so in real time also your parent will never say that just give me your property. Like they will never say to their child that give me your property. So the parent don't have a access to the property of their child. So likewise in our OP concept also, child has always access to the methods and properties defined in the parent class. They can also access all the things, and as well as they can access their own class properties and methods. But parent don't have a access to the child class. So they cannot access any of the property or any of the methods of child class. So keep these things in your mind. Okay, now what I want to do, I already create one class. So I'm just going for creating my child class that will inherited from this class. Okay, so I'm using class and batch. Okay, I'm taking the batch class here, that is my child class, and I want to inherit from the TC2 class. So how I can do it? So for that, whenever you are going for inheritance, so for that you have to use the extends keyword. So here I'm going for extends keyword, and then after the actual class, that is my parent class. Okay, so these way you can create it, as you can see here, like class, then child class name. Extend is always used for inheritance to inherit properties of your parent class, and TC1 is your parent class. Now I am creating here one method. The method is look like same here, but I'm adding some new features into that. Okay, so I just copy the things from here, so it don't take those much time. Okay, so here I create another method, so I'm changing the name of it. What I want to do, I already give the font size, and this property is not defined here, but it will inherit it from the TC2. Are you getting my point? Like whatever the properties are there in the parent class, that will inherit automatically. So you can use easily, and that will not get any error regarding the properties undefined in this class. Because as you can see here in the batch class, there is a no text underscore size property, then also you are using it. So it is also not throwing error. Why? Because here you write it down the extends keyword. And extends keyword means whatever the properties and methods in TC2 class, you can use it in this batch class. So font size is already there, color is already there. Here I want to add one more property, that is the text decoration. Text decoration values are maybe like underline, overline, strike through, blink, those kind of value you can use it. So here I'm using the underline. You can also get this value from the user, like whenever the object is created, at that time you pass this value and do it. That we will do in the next program, so that you have also idea regarding that. But this is the basic program of inheritance, so I'm not putting all the complex things here. Okay, so in the base class, there are different constructor, destructor, as well as method is there. But in child class, I only create one method, that is a print underscore message, and the properties I can access it from the parent class, and one property I add here, that is the text dash under decoration underline. Now, whenever you are going for object creation, make sure you create the base class object, so that you have all the access to entire program. Like you can access the parent class property methods, you have access to the child class property method. So always it is benefit to create a child class object. So here I am creating the child class object. You can use the parent class object also, but as we can write here, so we are going for both the things, so that you get better idea. So here I am also creating another project, another object, that is of my parent class, and where I am passing another values like 18px, then after color red, then after OOP. Okay, now I'm calling the methods. So I will call every method, like only two methods are there, p message and print message. So I'm using this both the object, I'm going for it. So this is the syntax for calling the object. Same as it is, I'm also calling the another method, that is the print message. Okay, there is another object is there, that is a obj1. So using that also I'm creating, I'm calling the another functions. Okay, now as you can see here, this obj, that is your child class object, and this is your parent class object. Okay, so obj, that is your child class object. The child class object can call the child class or parent class method, like p underscore message, that is your method of your parent class. So yes, your child can access the property of parent, so this is not give an error. Next sentence is obj print underscore message. Okay, so your child class owning the method, that is a print underscore message, and that will call it successfully. Next is parent class object. So obj1 is a parent class object, and it is calling a p underscore message. So that is its own method, like parent class can call its own method. So that is not creating any issue. obj1, and they are creating, obj1 is a parent class object, and that is calling the child class method. So this will create always an error. Why? Because I already told you that parent class object will never ever have a access to the child class method. So that's why it will always create an error. Why? Because I already told you that your father cannot access the property, you own it. Okay, so that's why your father, that is obj1, is your parent class object, will never call the print underscore message, that is your child class method. So that will never call it. Now we are going for outputting the things. So inheritance.php file is there. Okay. Okay, TC1 is not found. So, okay, just a second. Here we have to go for it, object creation, that is a TC2. Fine. Okay, as you can see here, There are lots of methods and lots of methods are calling and as well as the outputs are there. Why? Because here we are giving in the constructor uh, calling of this message as well as we are going for explicit calling of that message. So I am just comment this method here so it will not create any confusion regarding the output. Okay, so as we can go ahead, just a second. Okay, now it is clear. Okay, how? I'm just explaining the output. Okay, so first is the batch class, and batch class have three different parameter. Now the question is that batch class don't have a constructor. So how they initialize this value and output is very well display in the output screen. Okay, so how it perform? So whenever your child class don't have any constructor, it will automatically call the parent class constructor because child class have all the property of the parent class, right? So if the child class don't have any constructor, it will automatically call the parent class constructor. So whatever the value you are assigning here in the uh, obj1 object, that will pass here and it will assign the values, and according to that you are also calling that function, that p underscore message, that is this function of parent class. So that's why it will give the output successful. Now next is you are calling this print underscore message using same object. So the same text is there like advanced web technology. But difference is there. The first sentence is your parent class method and second sentence or output is your child class method. So as you can differentiate here using underline like in the child class method text decoration underline property is there, right? So that's why it has a underline and we can differentiate it very well. So yes, your child class object can access parent class method as well as its own method. Now we are going for the parent class object. So obj1 new tc2 and their object initialization is done because tc2 means it is calling its own constructor like here. So it will pass the value and initialize everything. Then after that, you are calling the p underscore message. So p underscore message where underline is not there. So you can see here underline is not there. So this is a parent class method. You can call it through the parent class object. Okay, you cannot call the parent class through your parent class object a child class method. Okay, so this way this entire inheritance work, and after that it will destroy the both the objects. So that is the function of destructor. So this way your inheritance will work, where you create one class, then another class, that is your child class, and at last you are creating the both the class object and call it so that you have an idea that what is the inheritance work. Okay, so this is all about your inheritance. Now we again open that previous file. Why? Because I want to give the demonstration of constructor. If your child class have a constructor, because here in this program we don't have a constructor, right? So if your child class have a constructor, so how it will interpret it and how differently the scenario is. So we are again opening this constructor demo file where we are creating the constructor of child class. And here we are using the inheritance concept. That's why I first clear you out the inheritance and then after we go for the again the constructor. Okay. So I'm creating the child class like class batch, then after extends, and my parent class name is TC2. Okay. Now here, like I already told you in the inheritance, like child class have its own property also. So I can add one property, that is the decoration. that is regarding the text decoration property of CSS. So public decoration, and after that I am creating the constructor. Okay, just a second. Okay, so here we are creating the child class, and in the child class we are adding one property, that is the decoration. And now we are going for constructor creation here. So just a function, then after here we use this another approach of creating the constructor, that is using the class name, that is the batch. Then after here I'm passing the 4 values. Why? Because whenever you are creating the constructor of child class, it will never call your parent class. So you have to go for adding the syntax of calling the constructor of parent class. So your parent class have already 3 parameter, as well as this your batch class constructor has again one more parameter. So you have to pass it four parameter. So one is for size, another is for color, another is for value, and another is for decoration. Okay, now here already your parent class has different 3 parameter in their constructor. So I don't want to initialize this into the into the child class constructor. What I can do, I just go for it to calling the parent class constructor. So how I can call it? So using the parent keyword, then after double colon, then after double underscore construct, and pass the 3 different parameter. Why? Because you are calling the parent class constructor, and parent class constructor has 3 different parameter. So you are going for it, right? So that is size, color, and value. So that is call of calling the parent class constructor. So these way you explicitly call the parent class constructor, because whenever you are going for inheritance and when you create the batch class, that is your child class constructor, so you cannot directly call the parent class constructor. So that's why we are explicitly calling this parent class constructor using this syntax. Now, again, one parameter is remaining to assign or to initialize, that is my own property, that is the decoration. So these, then after decoration equals to again D, because I am assigning it into the D variable. So now D variable is assigned to this decoration. So this is all about the constructor. This way we can call it using the class name, and another way is the construct. Now I want to use same method, but I am providing the another property, that is the decoration. So I am changing the name here. So you don't have to write everything again. What I can do, okay, just a second. Okay, so this way we can create the entire constructor of our batch class. Now, what we can do, here we have to add one property, that is our text decoration. So how we can go for it, like text decoration, and then after dot operator. Okay, why we are going for dot operator? Because this text decoration is one another string, right? So we have to concatenate using dot operator. Then after this, and decoration property that we already defined in this class, again dot operator, and then after the double inverted comma. So this way we can go for it. Fine. So this is all about your constructor concept, and where we are also calling the parent class constructor. Okay, so whenever you are going for constructor, make sure you use this syntax. Okay, and this way you can add your own property. Now we are going for the object creation. So here you have to write it down the batch, so that we can provide it the child class object. Then after, there are four parameter you have to pass. Why? Because we are going for batch constructor, so four parameter you have to pass it. So fourth parameter, that is your underline. Okay, now if you go for calling the methods, so obj, and then after the print underscore message, you can call the parent class method also. That is up to you, because you are creating the child class method. So now we are going for running this program. So again we are going for constructor demo, and as you can see here, we can go for it. Okay, so advanced web technology, and then after underline and destroying this object. So this way your entire thing is work. You just comment it out so that you don't confused in the output, because it will automatically call whenever you initialize the object. So only one output is there with the underline, and then after the destroying of your object. So this way your entire constructor concept work whenever you don't have a constructor in your child class. So automatically your parent class constructor will be called, and if you have a constructor in your child class, then you have to use this syntax to call your parent class constructor. Okay, so that is all about your constructor. Now we are going for the inheritance part is already covered. Constructor part is already covered. So now we are going for the interface part. So I'm saving the file as an interface. Okay. So why we are creating interface? So interface is always used to support a multiple inheritance. Now, what do you mean by multiple inheritance? Means where there are two parent are there, and from that two parent only one child is derived, right? So that is called the multiple inheritance. If we take the real time example, then your father and mother, that is your two parent, and from that you derive it, right? So as a child, so that is called the multiple inheritance. So that is not supported into the PHP. So what is the alternative for it? So you can use the interface. Now interface is also called a fully abstract class. Now what does it mean? Fully abstract class means there are a method declaration only, no implementation of method, or in that method no code is available. So that's why it is called the fully abstract class. So I'm going ahead to create the interface. Okay, how we can create the interface? So for that you have to use this keyword, that is the interface, and the name of your interface, right? So I'm creating the student interface. So it is look like class, but whatever the methods you are defining, that is, there is no body in that method, only declaration part is there. So how we can go for it? So it looks like this: public function, then after I'm creating get methods, get marks, and then that's it. So that, as you can see here, there is a no implementation part is there, only the declaration part is there. Okay, so these way you can create the interface. Now I want to again use another interface. Why? Because I want to give you the demo of the multiple inheritance, like how it is look like if we are going for implementing two interface, and how it support the multiple inheritance functionality. That's why I'm creating two interface. So interface employee, then after here the name, that is the get details. Okay, so this way you can go for it interface. Okay, then after you have to go for a class, you have to create a class. So whenever you want to use the interface into your class, make sure you have to use implements keyword. Implements keyword is used whenever you want to use your interface in your class. So I'm creating here a class person, then after implements keyword. Okay, and here I am using student as well as the employee interface. So make sure you remember this implements keyword is used whenever you want to use the interface like student and employee. You can also inherit interface using the extends, like you can use this extend, and from student this employee is inherited. So these is also valid if you want to inherit from another interface. So interface is inherited, and for that you have to use the extends keyword. But in your class you cannot use extend, there you have to use the implements. So remember these things. If you are inheriting from the interface, then you can use the extend, but in class you have to use the implements keyword. Okay, so here what I want to do, I am giving the ID. If ID is 1, then employee related detail will be fetched out. And if the apart from the one ID is there, so students detail should be there. So likewise, we are going for this program. So here 4 different properties required. One is ID, another is your name, another is your age, and another is your marks. So this way you can create a 4 different properties regarding your class. Jamish, are you there? Jamish, are you there? You joined recently, so I just want to confirm. Acknowledge me. Okay, fine. So in interface, whenever you are going for implementing this interface, remember these things. Whatever the methods you are declaring in your interface, that you have to implement. My voice is very clear because I can audible it from my phone also. So check your network. Okay, so this way you can create a 4 different property. Now what I can do, I just want to create a constructor. So for that I'm going for function, then after construct, then after I'm passing the four different parameter: I for ID, N for name, A for age, and M for marks. Okay, and here I'm assigning the values to it, like ID. So I'm assigning the values I, then after name, then after age, then after marks. Okay, so this way you have to initialize your different four variable. Now what I want to do, whenever you are initialize your constructor, at that time directly it will check it out, like employer details should be fetched or the student details should be fetched. So that's why I'm calling the function from here. That is my function that will I create in the outside of this constructor. So that is the function name is a check, and here I'm passing the value, that is the ID. Okay, so this way whenever object is created and parameter is passed, at that time it will check it out. So no need to explicitly call this method, because it will directly check it out. And this is always helpful whenever some necessity methods you have to call it out every time whenever you initialize the properties. So that's why I'm calling here. Now I'm just going for implementation part of this check method. So public, then after function, then after check, and there we have to pass the ID. Okay, now just check it out. If this ID double equals to, for the checking out we have to use double equals to 1. Here we are going for ID as a string. You can, if you want to go for it integer, you can go for it. So there double inverted comma is not there. So if ID is 1, so I have to fetch it out the details of employee. So employee has a get detail function. So I have to call that function. Okay. So using this, I just call get detail function. Yet I am not implement these things. I have to implement after this method. So whatever the methods defined in the interface, that all the methods you have to include here. Whatever the methods you are declaring in your interface, it is compulsory that you have to implement in your class where you are using this implements keyword and you are implementing that interface. So if in another class also, if you are implementing this two interface, in that class also you have to again define this method. Okay, so implementation part is changed accordingly your class. Okay, so here we are going for check id is equals to 1, then get details of employee, and else part it will go for the student details. So for the student interface we are going for get marks function, right? So this way your entire function will look like. We don't need to explicitly call any functions. Why? Because as you go into the initialization of your object, it will call the check method. So if it is going into the check method, it's check it out. If one, then directly call the get details, and otherwise it will call the get marks. So there is no need for explicitly call any function. Next, we have to implement this both the details, get details and get method function. Otherwise, it will provide you an error. So public function get details, where I am going for displaying the employee details. So echo, then after employee name is, so it is stored into the name. Okay, then after echo employee ages. It is up to you which parameter you want to display. Okay, so these two details I want to display. Again, I'm just copying this function so that again we have to go for the students. So here the name is get marks, and here student name will be fetch it out. So student, okay, again here student. So name and age is already fetch it out, but as a student we have to go for the marks also. So echo, then br student marks is dot this and marks, because we store this into the marks variable. Okay, so this way your interface will work, where you have to create interface. Here we are going for two interface. Why? Because one student we can interpret as your father, employees interpret as a mother, and one is your child. So this way, if we are thinking about multiple inheritance, it will support through your interface. And make sure you remember this implements keyword. Then after we create the property, then constructor. In constructor we call the method check, so it will check it out like id is one or not. If it is one, then employee details should be fetch it out, so directly it will go to this part. And if it is not one, then it will go to the student part, that is your get marks. So there is no need for explicitly call any method. Now go for the object creation. So only one class is there, so we have to create an object of person class, and we have to pass the parameters. So how many parameters that we have to pass? So according to your constructor, you have to pass 4 parameters. One is your id. So here I'm providing id as 1. Then after name, so here I'm providing the name, that is the Krishna Parmar. Then after I'm providing the age, and at last the marks. Okay, so this way I create the object of it, so there is no explicitly need. So whatever the things we are going here, that will pass here. After that it will check it out. Id is 1, yes it is 1. So get details method is called, and in get details method it will display name and age only, and that is the employee. So as I go for the output part, okay, as you can see here, you can see only the employee details. If we are going for id is equals to 2, if I'm changing it, so it will go to the else part, and get marks function will be called. So accordingly, student details will be fetch it out. And if I want to go for both the details, so what can I do? I can create some another object, and in that object we go for the second id. So that is fetch all the details. So here I'm creating another object obj1, and I'm giving the id2. Name is, age is, again you have to write it down anything regarding that age, and marks. Okay, so if we want to go for the output part, as you can see here, the employee as well as the students detail, we can fetch it out using this entire thing. So that is all about your interface part. So in today's lecture, we already study regarding the constructor, then after inheritance and interface. Make sure all the students, you have to refer this video, because all you are absent. So you have to refer this video, and whenever we meet in the next lab session, we go ahead into the thread as well as your application that you have to create. So start thinking about your small application which include all this concept and start working on it. Fine. Make sure whenever you come in next lab session, all the programs related to today's lab session is completed and output should be there. I will check it out. So we already go for 3 program. One is a constructor. So here I create a constructor, then methods. Destructor is used for cleaning up process. If you are using inheritance concept and where in your batch class you are providing the constructor, then parent class constructor will be called according to this syntax. Okay, and you don't have to write it down everything that you already write it down in the parent class. So code reusability is concept is also demonstrated here. And then after we go for the inheritance part, there we already studied that whatever the derived class object is there, they can access everything, but parent class object can only access the parent class methods and property. They cannot access the child class methods and property. So that part you have to remember. And in interface, why we are creating interface? For the multiple inheritance, to support the multiple inheritance, and it is called the fully abstract class. So where there is a no implementation of your method is there. So remind these things, no implementation of method is there. Whenever any class will implement this interface, they have to compulsory implement those methods. So here we have to compulsory implement this method. If we are only implement student, so we have to go for the only get marks implementation, but here we are implementing both the interface. That's why we are going for both the implementation part of methods. Okay, so this way your entire concept will work. Okay, so when you come in your next lab session, make sure you revise everything and we go ahead in your next lab session regarding thread, SPL underscore autoload register function and the small application, and start rewinding regarding your concept that you already learned as well as regarding your small application.